Nobody plans to get sick or have an accident, right? But it happens. And when it does, the bills can be, well, a huge shock. Even if you've got good health insurance, those out-of-pocket costs can really pile up. So today, we're going to talk about a really powerful tool that can act like a financial shield for you. It's called hospital indemnity insurance. And to see why this is so important, let's look at some numbers. They might surprise you.
Okay, so picture this. You need an ambulance. What do you think that costs? Well, on average, nationally, $940. Yep, almost $1,000 just to get to the hospital. You haven't even seen a doctor yet.
And once you get through those ER doors, brace yourself. The average visit is going to set you back over $2,400. I mean, think about that. That's the kind of unexpected bill that can totally wreck your budget, just like that.
But what if you have to be admitted? What if you need to stay in the hospital for a few days? Well, the average cost for that is, get this, over $14,000. It's just staggering. And when you see numbers like these, it's pretty obvious that having a financial safety net isn't just a nice to have. It's an absolute must.
Look, we can't predict the future, right? But we can prepare for it. Your financial health shouldn't be a game of chance, and that's where having a guide, someone who knows the ropes, comes in. With Mills & Associates, you've got that expert in your corner, helping you navigate all of this. So let's talk about how you can get prepared for those kinds of costs.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll quickly touch on the high cost of care, dive into what indemnity insurance actually is, show you how to pick your coverage, and then look at some real-life examples. After that, we'll cover a few key details and wrap up with your next step. Sound good? Let's go.
Right. So those big, scary numbers we just looked at, that's exactly why these kinds of supplemental plans were created. They're all about filling in the gaps, the space between what your main insurance pays and what you're left with. It's a huge deal.
Okay, so let's get into it. What in the world is indemnity insurance? Let's pull back the curtain and see how it works as a financial shield. Okay, this is the most important thing you need to know about a fixed indemnity policy. It pays cash, directly, to you. That's the game changer. If you're in the hospital for a covered event, the insurance company doesn't pay the doctor or the hospital, they cut a check and send it straight to you. It's a fixed amount of cash and you can use it for literally anything you want. Your medical bills? Sure, but also your rent, your groceries, your car payment, whatever you need while you're recovering. So, let's make this super clear. Your regular health insurance? That's for the doctors and the hospitals. It pays them based on their bills. But a hospital indemnity policy? That's for you. It pays you a fixed cash amount. That's why it's a supplement. It's not meant to replace your main health insurance, not at all. Think of it like a booster, an extra layer of financial armor to protect your savings.
Now, what's really cool about these plans is that you're not stuck with some cookie-cutter option. You can actually build a plan that's just right for you.
So for example, let's look at these options from Cigna Healthcare Smart. You've got the Choice Core plan, which is like your solid foundation. Then if you want a little more, you can step up to the Choice Preferred or the Choice Premier plans. See how they start adding more benefits? Like the Premier plan adds coverage for outpatient rehab, which the other two don't have. It's all about letting you pick the level of protection that makes you feel secure.
And you can dial it in even more with these things called riders. The easiest way to think of them is like add-ons or upgrades. Worried about that ambulance cost we talked about? Add an ambulance rider. Think you might want extra coverage for an intensive care stay? There's a rider for that too. It's how you build a plan that's truly yours.
All right, so all of this sounds good in theory, right? But what does it look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's check out a couple of real-world scenarios to see how this all plays out.
First up, let's meet Susan. She's 65, has a Medicare Advantage plan, and has one of those accidents that happens in a split second. She falls and breaks her hip. Ouch. This means she's headed to the hospital. So after her hospital stay, Susan's bill for her copayment comes in. It's $1,500. But here's the good part. Her Choice Core Indemnity plan kicks in and pays her, you guessed it, $1,500. A check sent right to her. So her out-of-pocket cost was completely wiped out. She didn't have to pull a single penny from her savings. That's a huge relief.
Okay, now for our next story. This is John. He's 42, has insurance through his job, and suffers a classic weekend warrior injury. Playing softball, he breaks his leg. Not only does it hurt, but it means surgery and a hospital stay.
So after all is said and done, John's on the hook for his deductible and copay, which adds up to just under $2,000. But because he had that beefier Choice Premier plan, his benefits started stacking up. He got paid for the ER, for the hospital stay, and more. The total check he received was $2,050.
So not only did it completely cover his medical bills, but he actually had $55 left over. He can use that for gas, food, whatever he needs while he's off his feet. So yeah, these plans can be a real lifesaver. But, like with any insurance, you gotta know the details. So let's quickly go over some of the important stuff. Okay, a few key things to remember. For folks between 64 and 70, some of these plans are guaranteed issue. That's awesome because it means no medical questions asked. Also, your rates won't go up just because you get older or if your health changes, which is great for budgeting. Plus, the policy is guaranteed for life as long as you pay your premiums. Now, one important limitation to keep in mind, there's usually a waiting period, in this case 3 months, before the plan will cover pre-existing conditions. So it's good to be aware of that.
Wow, we've really covered a ton of information, haven't we? From those crazy high costs to how these plans work. So now what? What's the next step for you?
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've got different plans, all those riders we talked about, different benefit levels. I mean, how do you sift through all of that to figure out what's actually right for you? It can definitely feel a bit overwhelming. Well, here's the good news. You don't have to. You really, really don't have to figure it all out by yourself. This stuff is complicated. That's why having an expert guide in your corner is so valuable. Someone who can just talk with you, listen to your concerns, and help you find the perfect fit for your life and your wallet.
And that's exactly what Mills & Associates does. They're that expert guide. So if you're curious about whether a hospital indemnity plan makes sense for you, or really for any of your healthcare insurance questions, just give them a call. They can help you get that incredible peace of mind that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you're prepared. Thanks so much for joining us.